Add to stream, add to stream. We should both be in there. And we broke the internet. Are we in there? There we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Curmudgeon's Corner. Curmudgeon's Corner number 14. Oh, dude, that Phoenix didn't work at all. That's terrible. I'm going to do it again. See if I can. We're playing with new technology here in the Phoenix headquarters. And what was supposed to happen was this the entire time that we were, I was trying to do a killer intro and it didn't work. And that's terrible. So, anyway, here we are. Welcome to Curmudgeon's Corner number 14. I am here with my very special guest, Stephanie Devine from Devine Detailing, also out of Damascus Auto Shop. Excuse me while I take a quick sip of apple juice from my new favorite. What is this?
Oh, that's so fancy.
Oh, it's so fancy. What is it? It's a Devine Detailing. I love it. Ah, fantastic. Anyway, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Living the dream. Thanks for asking. I hope you brought your apple juice because everybody needs a good, apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I did. I have a cup myself.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Looks like we got a pretty cool house coming in. Humberto, as always, Rick Smith, HM Auto Detailing, Ryan Mulhern, Keith Firebird. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. Appreciate the support. Mario, appreciate it. Tim, Hawaii Tim, checked in a little bit earlier. I'm sure he's going to be around. There's Miller Detailing, always a great guy to come around. We super appreciate the support. So Stephanie Devine from Devine Detailing has graciously joined us tonight, and we're going to talk about all kinds of cool things. Recently, you could have caught her podcast on the Detail Dive podcast. It's got a lot of information in there. Hopefully, we're not as formal as that. I messed this up here. You're supposed to be right there. You are. All right, good. See, now I can look right at you and the camera at the same time. So, anyway, hopefully we're not as formal with that, and maybe the apple juice will help give us stuff to talk about. Anyway, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It was a chilly day in Ohio for a little bit today, so I just kind of hung out at the house.
Okay. Now you detail full time?
If I have enough to do it full time, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm usually at the shop. I'm at the shop every day, but we're not always open on Saturday.
Okay, so if you don't have a pressing detail, what is it that you do? Do you help? Do you turn a wrench? There's a bunch of detailers in here that turn wrenches at the same time.
I can do a little bit of stuff. I help with just customers, calls, tire repairs, maybe a test drive here and there. Stuff like that.
Hawaii Tim, he's in the house now. All right, that's cool. One of the things that we like to do, I like to try to give enough time for people to kind of wander into the chat room before we really get into the meat and potatoes of things. But
right.
One of the things that I did notice is you have you're very popular on Instagram. Your IG handle is MadBabe324. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then I love a good origin story. So where exactly did MadBabe324 come from?
Well, I think originally when I started Instagram, it was something else. It got hacked. So I had to change my name, and basically my boyfriend's just always saying I'm mad, and he's always saying, "Why you mad, babe?" So eventually it trickled into Mad Babe, and the 324 is just kind of a collection of numbers I like.
Mad as in like mad as a hatter, like you're crazy. And because we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I saw some things. I was like, wow, there's some stuff to dive into. Or just mad as in like angry.
Probably a little bit of both in his scenario.
Okay. And speaking of,
I know you guys like to, pick.
You're cutting out. What's that?
Well, you guys like to pick on your lady friends, so Sometimes
Oh,
you make us
sure.
mad, you know.
Yeah, 100%. The thing is I think that like if you were to like listen in on any day to day conversation that I have with Papa Smurf, I think that boys have a tendency to kind of sharpen their teeth on each other. Like we really hack on one another, and it's all in good fun. Like you need to be able to take a joke. Um,
For sure.
Rich Smith, good to see you. You're not late, buddy. You're just on time. We always tease each other and hack on. And I know, like with my wife, sometimes she doesn't get my sense of humor, my sarcasm, my. I like to say I'm witty. She likes to say I'm half right. So um, you know how that is.
Right.
But you have like 2,500 followers on Instagram.
Right. Is that good?
It's better than Phoenix. I think we got
Oh,
6. I think we have 6
well,
followers. I think maybe
touche.
maybe 7. I don't know. It fluctuates. Um, but yeah, so going into that, I think the last time that I listened to the podcast on the detail dive, and I was listening to another one of their podcasts where they were talking to uh, uh, detailer chick, I think is her name, Christine. Um, a lot of times they talk a lot about being a woman in what is perceived to be a male dominated industry, and um, I'm curious about that. I'm a Gen Xer, and I'm also a military brat. So I grew up on Marine bases and around, basically moving every 2 years. We never lived in the same place longer than 2 years, and um, I've had this conversation a lot with like my African American friends, and I'll never ever ever be able to put myself in their shoes. I'll never be able to put myself in the shoes of a woman. Maybe more so now in 2023 I can, but I don't think that I'll ever be able to walk a mile in anybody's shoes. And so, basically, the conversation that I have with my African American friends is I've never noticed like blatant racism. You know what I mean? Like when we're at school together, we weren't separated by color or race. We were separated by rank. You know what I mean? It was like the officer kids and the enlisted kids, and that's where the social classes kind of stacked up. And it didn't matter what ethnic background you had, what color your skin was. We never even noticed it. And then you know couple that with being a Gen Xer and growing up in the late 70s and throughout the 80s, again, that's not something that, that I guess we were really conscientious of. And I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist or sexism doesn't exist. I've never encountered it, and I have never been I've never been looked at differently from one of my African American friends, or, and I've never looked at them different. It's weird, right? It's something that you don't even notice or take into account. But um, so I guess my question to you is, have you ever encountered that, like some sort of like I don't really want a
Mm,
woman working on my car or detailing my car or anything of that nature. Like what have you experienced in that realm that seems to be drawing a lot of attention? And I was kind of looking for examples.
Um, Most of it would probably be skepticism, you know. They're like, is she capable to do what she's saying she's doing, you know, like can I trust her with my car is more like what I feel like. I don't know, you know. I've had a couple guys not want to leave their keys with me. I don't know if that's because they think I want to hot rod their stuff or
Right.
what, but
Well, I would think that with any professional that I'm going to subject myself to, like my doctor, for example, like, I'm going to research them before I'm going to look for some reviews. I'm going to check you out like obviously check you out on IG. You can see the work that you put out is insane, it's great, and it's a wide variety of cars. I saw that you had Range Rovers, you had motorcycles, you had there was pictures of Lexuses. I know that you're doing a big Ford 3 F350 coming up. Like, so you have a wide variety and a wide range of vehicles that you've worked on, the types of vehicles that you've worked on. So you know, I would think that before they even made an appointment with you, like, if you are worth your weight in salt, you should, you know, obviously check somebody out first, regardless if you're a man, or you're a woman, you're whatever. Like, I want to be like,
Yeah.
you know, before you know, I pay this much money, can this person do it? And I don't know, do you show that off with your, like, you know, if they question your abilities, you'd be like, take a look at this, take a look at this. This is what I did for this guy, and this is what I did for that person.
Yeah, I mean, usually if I feel like they're uncomfortable, I'll try to, step them away from the ledge a little bit and I'll show them some of my work. Or, like you said, some of them have approached me because they've seen my work, either Facebook or Instagram, or maybe I detailed their friend's car, and I get a lot of work just by word of mouth, I guess.
Right. And how, and that's doing well for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I could be busier, but I don't mind having I a day or two off during the week of not detailing, I guess. Just the money is nice, but then I'm not getting burnt out, you know what I mean? Gives me a chance to do other things.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes too. That's exciting.
Hmm.
Um, so is have you ever witnessed the other side of that, where being a female is an advantage? I know that you know, I know for a fact, and again, this is extremely sexist, what I'm about to say. Um, I just believe that women have a keener eye for detail
Hmm.
than men, a lot, you know, a good portion of the time. And I know that's very stereotypical, but you know, I mean, I could tell you, you know, every day my wife is like, well, allow me to look for it, I'll find it. You know, that kind of thing, where
Yeah.
you know, have you ever experienced to be the exact opposite, because being a female is an advantage versus not?
Mm, I guess not necessarily. I still have to work just as hard as the guys. And
Sure.
I mean, I'm not out there like in a bikini washing cars or something. So I don't feel like that's like got the upper hand on something. I don't know.
Okay. Right. You know, so then I'm also going to go again one step further in this perceived male dominated industry. You know, I know that in my circle that I hang out with, you know, they Bob and Carrie of BNC Detailing, Miranda Detailing. It's Phil and Jess. I mean, they're both turning the wheels. You know, attention to detail Lancaster, Chelsea, a very predominant female in the industry, and she's got a great following, and she's extremely knowledgeable. And then, like we mentioned earlier, Detailer Chick, where she is definitely rising a rising star as well, working with Ivan on
Hmm.
a coding line and stuff like that. So. Um, I think, just from my, you know, from me just kind of being on the outside looking in, I definitely feel that there is not just a shift, but a real balance of um, where I don't think that you know, I don't think that you can say one way or another anymore. I think that there's actually, you know, there is becoming
Right.
an equality to
Right.
the perception of the industry. Um, and then so that kind of moves us into the, you know, into the next segment of conversation. You were recently exposed to the world of Phoenix E.O.D down at the Southern Detailers Conference in Kentucky.
Right.
That was, I thought, was just a great experience. I believe you attended both. Did you attended both educationals, or was it just the coding?
Mm, no, just the coding. I missed Friday.
Okay,
So I got there really late Friday. So
sure.
I just got the coding class.
Yeah, and I remember Brian from Apex definitely gave you some hands-on, you know, and we got you
Right.
certified that weekend as far as being able to install ceramic coatings. Um, and That's really exciting. And so I remember listening to the you were on Detail Dives podcast, and you hadn't really gotten a whole lot of ceramic coating under your belt. And now that you're certified, you're getting ready to ceramic coat a big Ford F-350. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How how
Monday.
how much of a challenge is that? Like that sounds like a really big job.
I mean, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I can correct the paint in 2 steps and then, prep it and be ready for coating. The customer also wants a dent removed, which I don't do, but I have a guy that I'll have come and do a paintless dent repair on it. Uh, and then so like I'll start buffing it and then he'll come and pop the dent. I'll finish, get it all ready for coat. Uh should be good.
yeah. So so what is the best part about detailing for you?
Uh I I just learned a long time ago when I used to landscape that I like jobs where I can see like immediate results, like instant gratification.
Sure.
So when I like fresh paint's nice, but then used paint is really nice because it's usually got a lot more defects going on. So it's a little more of a challenge and then a little more satisfying when you're all done,
Sure.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Um, Ryan Mulhern wants to know how long do you think it'll take you to do the 350?
Mm, I mean, probably I'll have it till Wednesday, but I don't expect to be really working on it Wednesday other than maybe like dusting it off and stuff. So hopefully most of it Monday, into finishing polishing it Tuesday morning. Probably coat it in the evening on Tuesday, like once the shop's closed and the dust is settled and all that stuff, doors are closed. And then be good for Wednesday, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, like, the
I mean,
coating
I'll
is,
be working late on it. It'll be more than an 8-hour day Monday for sure.
yeah, yeah. And you should probably, he needs at least 24 hours to let that ceramic coat cure. You can get away with it a little
Right.
bit longer, but I mean, make sure that it's not exposed to water for as long as humanly possible. We're talking, a good cure is 5 days for
Right.
a full cure. So just make sure that he's aware of that and tell him to protect it like the baby that you've made it.
Right. Yeah, hopefully I know they travel for work, so hopefully wherever they're at, they'll be at least like, in a garage or something.
Right. Um, I don't understand what that means. Humberto. She loves the difficult that seems for customers impossible to become fascinated impossible. Do you follow that?
Me?
Yeah. Humberto, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
I think he's saying I like to do the hard jobs that people think I can't fix.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I already know the answer to this, but what's the worst part of detailing for you?
Mm. Interiors,
I
probably.
knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. You made a comment about finding old dead fingernails is just really, really off-putting.
Oh, those get me every time. Those are gross. Yeah, the fingernails. I found
um,
worse, trust me, but
yeah.
yeah, those are just
Um, yeah. So, I do appreciate that the instant gratification, that instant satisfaction that you get when you're doing a paint correction. Um, totally makes sense. I find that to be a lot when I'm cooking. Hey, Fab's in the house. What's up, Fab? And Shane Christopher Zwiefel. How do you pronounce that? Zwiefel says
he's from I think Legacy Auto Detailing.
he says what's
I
up.
know him.
Yeah. Um, okay, here we go. In general, what is your go-to machine and pad combo, and then what is your favorite polish? And you don't have to, just because you're on my show, you don't have to throw love to Phoenix, but you know.
I mean, that's kind of easy for me, I guess, but it's because it would be the 3M, compound and the 8-inch foam pad on the rotary. But that's the way I was trained at the body shop. That's what I'm comfortable with. I know you know, I can buff out, probably 15, 2,500 grit with that if I really need to. Yes, it takes longer, but you can still do it. Um, right. That would be my weapon of choice, I guess.
Okay. And then and you're in the pad combo, and then your polish.
I mean, if I'm doing the rotary, I'm going to use the 3M pads still. I like them because on the hook it system that they have, they're easy to pop on and off, and then they're double sided, so you get a lot of use out of them.
Yeah.
Um, my favorite polish, I mean, if I was going to use their stuff, I would just go ahead and use their whole combo, their
The
whole set,
3M.
which is 3 steps. Yeah.
Yeah. As being, because you're attached to what does Damascus Auto Shop, do they do, you said they do body work as well, right?
No, we don't do body there. My boyfriend was he's been a mechanic his whole life, so it's basically an auto shop, and then I just kind of have a little stall where I detail.
Okay. And what exactly is a auto shop? I don't know if I've heard that terminology. Is that like a
I just
garage, like a mechanic garage?
Right, I guess we just kind of I don't know, we just decided to name it that.
No, it's very common. When I looked it up, when
Well,
I
it's auto stop like a stop sign, really.
auto
I didn't
stop.
hear right, stop sign like a stop.
Oh, so
So
sorry.
like
I was thinking auto
right,
shop.
no, that's okay.
All right. So then, have you ever lived in Indiana?
No, I've lived in Ohio my whole life.
Whole life. Do you like Ohio? I
It's all
hear it is
right.
extremely small business friendly. So,
Right.
yeah, you found a good place to set up shop for sure. Um, I Ryan made this comment here, and there is definitely some reward in that. I think that from talking to all these different detailers, it's usually the most time consuming, especially depending on what was in the interior, i.e.,
Mhm.
kids or animals, or just really funky people. Um, it's probably the hardest to do or most time consuming to do. I know, like, just hanging out with Brian from Apex will not do interiors at all. He um, subs them, ships them off down the street. This guy does a really good interior. I'll do your exterior or whatnot, but he doesn't have any interest at all in doing interiors. So I get it. Mm-mm-mm.
It's not that I don't like interiors, and I mean, there's still something satisfying, about cleaning a dirty interior, but there's a lot more tools you have to get out, like I'm using my steamer, my sweeper, my scrubber, I'm using brushes, like different cleaners sometimes. You're doing window, you know, if you just are doing a paint correction on a car, I feel like you need significantly less tools.
Okay.
I don't know. And to me, there's just something slightly therapeutic about just buffing, and I just throw my headphones on and do my thing.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of your pictures. You definitely, the blue headphones that you're rocking out with, and we had talked earlier that music was a really big um, influence in your life. Like, what kind of stuff are you? What's in your Walkman right now?
Huh. Those were the days with the Walkmans, right? And the tape player that you had to put in
Yeah,
your car that went from the
for sure.
Walkman. Hmm. Oh, I listened to a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some since I've been listening to my headphones for, years now, I had to start skipping around genres, so a little bit of everything, I guess. Not too
Yeah,
much heavy, heavy metal.
if we were to turn on your speakers right now, what would be playing?
Probably some country today,
Okay, all right,
right? Maybe some Lainey Wilson, stuff like that. Some of the newer stuff is all right lately.
okay.
Then you can never go wrong with some Garth Brooks or something either if we're doing
Oh,
country.
all right, okay. Um, when my son was a very young lad, um, my brother sent me a song. I forget the name of the artist. I could probably look it up real fast, but this name of the song is "I've Been Watching You," and it's basically about um, um, a boy and his son, and his son is 4 years old, and the lyrics. He's like, I slammed on the brakes to avoid an accident, and all of the kids. Chicken McNuggets and fries go flying forward, and the kid curses, and he's like, where did you learn to talk like that?" And then the little kid's like, "I've been watching you, Dad. I'm your buckaroo." I mean, I was listening to it
All
on the
right.
radio, and I just fell apart. Um, Yeah, Rodney Atkins is his name. Rodney, "Watching You." The song is "Watching You" by Rodney Atkins, and I mean, it had me in just full blown tears. And then, of course, my brother has a daughter, and he has another song. It's called "Cleaning My Gun," I think is what it is, and it's basically about like the daughter going on her first date, and he's like, "I'll be waiting for you when you get home, just sitting here cleaning my gun. So make sure you bring her home in the condition that you found her." You know what I mean? So like he sent this
Right.
little boy song to me, so I sent this little girl song to him. Take that.
That's cute.
Um, anyway, um, where were we? Yeah, so music's a big part of it. I know for a fact that what does that even mean? F X is in the house. Everybody, XYZ Auto Details in the house. I don't know if you guys tuned into our last Curmudgeon's Corner, but we now have a West Coast distributor that has the ability to mail things. So if you are interested in Phoenix E.O.D products, and shipping has always been a bear, and I know that things just went up as far as prices are concerned, I would encourage you to check out xydistributionz.com for all your Phoenix needs. Anyway, Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah, that definitely will fire you up for sure. Interesting that Fab brings this up. I don't know if you got to spend much time with Brian from Apex Auto Detailing, but apparently he and his son are both very much into heavy metal. They seem to really like it, and if there is a concert anywhere in the tri-state area, they will be there. I mean, and it ranges from like Tool to
Like he's
Pantera.
listening to like Guar and stuff, like
Yeah, well,
Mushroom Head.
I don't know if he's into full death metal at this point. Kill your parents then yourself. Kill your parents then yourself.
Right.
I don't think they're doing that just yet, but they're definitely pushing the envelope as far as the hardcore stuff, which is kind of
You can't see it from Brian.
no one can.
Heavy metal.
Yeah, it blew my mind. He was in here in the
Hmm.
warehouse a couple of months ago, and I was fooling around. I said, "I got Pandora out. What do you want to listen to?" And he was like, "I don't know, you got any Tool?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, I've got Tool. That's all right." Um, Bee Gees and ACDC mashup is a nice mix. Mark, you're never late, buddy. You're always on time. And HM is still into Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. LOL. That's funny. All right. Do 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 do. So, definitely want to talk about general badassery. All right, that's the next category. General
Oh,
badassery for 400. So, after doing some cyber stalking on you, to get some questions for tonight and things of that nature, I noticed on your Facebook page you got a lot of what looks like almost motocross. Is that
Hmm.
are you doing the motocross thing or what?
Um, just like for fun, off. It's more like just trail riding off road a little bit, you know.
How long you been doing that?
Um, I've probably had a bike for about 10 years now.
Okay, all right. So you've been in the saddle for a little bit.
Right.
What's your and I know that we had talked a little bit ago, earlier in the month, right before you went on vacation. You were going to be doing some traveling, um, and I believe they kind of go hand in hand. Is that correct? Like you're doing some off road trailing and you're visiting some stuff.
Right. Yeah, we
So
went down to West Virginia and that was fun. We didn't ride the bike all the way there, but uh, we hauled it and then did a little bit of urban exploring. There's a lot of abandoned towns and stuff down there and old dirt roads and stuff, and it was fun.
yeah, you said you're going to a ghost town. Is that right?
Yeah. Why can't I think of what it was called right now? Oh,
Okay.
Thurmond, West Virginia. It's an old mining town, and there's still like a bank and, like structures for where they would load the coal into the trucks or whatever they would go in, and just all kinds of old buildings
Yeah, for sure.
if you're into
Okay.
that stuff.
Yeah, you guys do that a lot.
Yeah, kind of. Try to when we have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And what's like how far what's the farthest you've gone? Like destination.
That's probably the farthest just to kind of explore some stuff for sure.
Yeah. I mean I'm looking at where Ohio is on the map. So you're a day's drive from some pretty cool places.
Right.
Like do you guys do a lot of traveling? Big Mike's in the house. What?
We don't get the opportunity to sometimes, we don't have kids, but we have the dogs and then the shop is busy most of the time on his end at least, so we don't always have the opportunity to travel.
Right.
We just decided we needed to take a break this time.
Well, good for you. Good for you. And like I said, I do appreciate you scheduling me in. I know that you had the vacation beforehand, and I'm sure things kind of got backed up. Um, but so, where would you say is like the best? Like the most fun that you've had. Where would that be?
Like urban exploring.
Yeah, or you're traveling, vacationing, wherever, whatever it is that you do. I know um, you have a
We
very
went to
adventurous side to yourself.
we went to an off-road park in Kentucky. I think what's it called? Rush Off Road. And that was really fun. It was their anniversary bash, so there was like a concert and then just lots of people riding around having a good time, and you ride trails and listen to music, eat food, camp. That was fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure there's a bazillion people there.
Oh yeah, it was kind of hard to ride at one point because there's just a lot of people, but then you just end up camping, I guess.
Right. You guys, yeah, and from conversations that we've had, you're big into camping and hunting and all that stuff, right? That's kind of like your bag, or was your bag growing up.
Right, we did a lot of camping with my dad and my grandparents. My brother and I did, but I don't really hunt. I shoot, but I've never killed an animal.
All right. So here's a little known fact that I found to be really fascinating. You were featured in Auto Body Source magazine. Like, how does that happen?
I don't know. I guess they just kind of approached me and asked me if I wanted to do a small interview for they have kind of like an automotive girls section in their
Okay.
magazine, and I said sure.
Like, so how does one get on their radar for something like that? or is it just kind of like they just called you one
I don't
day?
know. Well, I guess the article is under the who we're watching section.
Yeah.
So I don't they were watching, I guess, and must have liked what they were seeing work wise.
Do
So
you think it's
they
something
approached me
organic,
about
like
it.
it comes around like because of your IG or because of your Facebook page, or just like there is a really there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of people that detailing out there, and there are not surprising to me, but surprising to some, there are a lot of female detailers out there, like we talked about earlier. So I just
Hmm.
kind of wanted to know, like, how do you kind of separate yourself or stand out in the crowd? Because you have to be
Um,
doing something right, because you also got nominated female paint assassin over there at Mobile Tech, and I want to talk about that in a second. But right now, let's cover the magazine because that came first.
they just I don't know. I mean, I guess I just a friend of mine through Instagram at one point said I should show instead of just posting pictures, I should start to post some videos about, the process and just showing some of my work. And when I started to do that, I got a lot more followers and a lot more just views and such.
Right.
But um yeah, I don't know. I don't really try to separate myself or anything particular. I just that's the my videos are kind of a lot of them are similar, it's just me buffing something back to a shine or something and showing you real quick, but
Okay.
I don't know. I
So
don't they just approached me about it. I didn't like, apply for it or something. I don't know.
okay. Thanks, X. Appreciate it. So then let's talk about the female paint assassin. Like that was when I heard that on the podcast. That was new to me. I've never gone to Mobile Tech. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm toying with the idea of going. This coming show next. What is it, in January? I think. I can't remember, but we're toying with the idea of maybe doing it. So I don't know the minutia of how that show works. So what is a paint assassin? Because it sounds backwards. Like I would think that I would want somebody to not assassinate my paint. I would want them to do a good job. So what exactly is a paint assassin?
Well, Paint Assassins is they have a group on Facebook and Instagram, and they're the ones that give out the awards. Um I don't know. I don't know what qualifies you to be a paint assassin, I guess, but um I you just if you want to join the group, you join the group and you can post your work if you want. And the nomination was from peers. So people
Oh
in the
wow.
group nominate you. I didn't know anything about it until um the guy that runs it approached me and let me know that I was nominated and one of the finalists. So like I knew they were, voting for stuff, but I didn't know I was nominated because I voted for other people in the group for other paint assassin nominations.
Okay. Now, did you go to the Mobile Tech that you were nominated at?
No,
So you don't.
no,
Attendance is not required.
no, I don't believe so.
Interesting.
I just think they were at Mobile Tech when they announced it. It's not like you know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So my honestly, my real bread and butter experience with conventions and things of that nature have always been comic book related. I used to work for a comic book company. I worked for a comic book shop. I did all like we did a lot of the conventions from that point of view, and they obviously do things a lot different. Um, at a comic book convention, obviously, than like even the SDC. I hope that the SDC is not indicative of the rest of the shows, because, in my personal opinion, I thought it was a real letdown. I don't think it was attended very well. And because of that, I found the show to be very, very lacking, and maybe not as organized as I think it should be. I don't know what was your, an attendant, an attendee, I should say, as an attendee. What were your thoughts on the SDC?
I mean, I've never been to anything like that before per se. So other than PDP put something on in Canton earlier this year in Ohio, and I caught that, and there was a couple people there, like a rep from Rupes and Buff and Shine, but it was very small. So SDC was nice for me to go to, and I caught your guys' stuff, which is pretty much the reason I went.
Thank you.
So I mean, should I say underwhelmed? Not necessarily, because I still had a good time and what I went there for was accomplished.
Sure.
But um what I just heard from other people that maybe it was like a lot smaller than maybe the prior year or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I had heard too. And I had heard like at the last minute, a bunch of vendors had backed out, and
Right.
yeah. Smurf and Nacho Man in the house at the same time. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence. I don't want to assume anything, but do appreciate both you guys stopping by and checking in. Papa Smurf, it's about time. I expected a little better, support, but that's cool. I get it. You have more important things to do than support your friend. That's fair. It's cool. Whatever. Anyway, all right. So we've covered a lot of everything. You said that you were also a foodie at one point. You had talked about being a foodie. What do you kind of What do you kind of gravitate towards when you're? Are you the cook? Do you like to cook, or do you just like to eat? And you're kind of particular about what you eat.
Uh I mean, I'm slightly picky, but and yes, I'm the cook, but I mean, we eat a lot of like red meat, chicken, potatoes, macaroni and cheese, stuff like that. Sometimes we try not to eat out because neither one of us particularly care for it, to be honest. But
Okay.
sometimes we're too busy and I'm tired and don't want to cook. So, pizza it is or something.
Uh, um, I'm completely weaving back and forth between things. So
Huh.
you mentioned your boyfriend a number of times, and it's his shop, right? Damascus Auto Stop,
Yeah,
um,
right.
and you detail out of his shop. How synergistic is that? Like, do you ever get business um, from his customers, and does he ever get basically business because somebody got a detail by you, and and back and forth?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes our customers end up like we feed each other work. He had a guy come in the other day that needed some maintenance done on his car and he ended up wanting a headlight restoration. So I did that for him while it was there. And I had a customer of mine come in for a detail. They wanted an alignment, vice versa. So occasionally it happens. Yeah.
Do you eat Skyline chili?
No, I don't know what's that.
I don't even know what it is.
Sounds like it's in a
Silverado,
can.
what is Skyline chili? It sounds perverted, and I don't know if I want to go down that path. Um, do you say soda or do you say pop?
Ah, pop usually.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I'm from Newcastle. They all say pop. Every time I come home, my best friend, he's got an extremely heavy Pittsburgh accent, which it's great to hear him talk. Where the O's are all AWs, and
Oh,
you know, uh,
right,
we used to tease him all the time. G yet? No, Jew. Yeah, sandwich. That just that heavy Pittsburgh ease, and then he would be like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and it's just like instead of saying "Oh my god," it's just AW. Uh,
right.
you know, um, Nacho Man says soda pop. That's because he's from Maryland. He's from
Huh.
Maryland. It doesn't count. Ryan, 100% agree. What did Ryan say? Oh, yeah. So I'm hoping the SEC will continue and grow. It's relatively new, maybe 5 years. They need something to make it a draw. Yeah, something like bringing in four of the biggest YouTube influencers in the industry. That would probably be a really cool draw. Maybe announcing that four of the biggest YouTube influencers in the industry are going to be at the show, like um, Brian from Apex Auto Detailing, Phil Miranda from Miranda Detailing, Fab from Fab Automotive Detailing, and Papa Smurf from Papa Smurf 918 Detailing. Like that might have been a draw.
Right.
Maybe. But did anybody even bother to mention it at all? No, they didn't comment on it. They didn't mention it. They didn't like a single one of my posts. They didn't repost a single one of my posts. And I did it every single week. I did a countdown to the SDC. So I can just tell you there's a bitter taste in my mouth about it, and I'm like, if it wasn't for such an awesome time outside of the SDC, I can tell you right now, I would not do it again. But I got to meet, a lot of really cool cats. I got to meet you, Stephanie. Big
Right.
Mike is a staple in my life now. He's come down to the warehouse, I think, 3 different times, and I've done his bike show. He's got another bike show at the end of the month that I'm going to try to get my brother to go to. Um, so um, outside of the SDC, like the actual event surrounding the show was fantastic. I mean, I had such a good time down there, and got to
Hmm.
drink with my friends and eat with my friends, and squeeze. We have.
Right. I ended up walking right past you guys at one point and then didn't realize it till I saw a picture of you guys. And I was like, I just walked right past you.
Yeah, yeah. That we actually we were going on Saturday night. We were going. We were taking everybody to this Brazilian steakhouse, and Big Mike and his girlfriend Dina walked up behind us, and Kim just thought that they were part of the group, and so they just kind of got ushered along with us. So we had a group of 16. Um, that went to this Brazilian steakhouse, and then of course, getting to actually get to know Mike and Dina, a real friendship kind of grew from that. So again, I was really really grateful for that. It was awesome to see the Four Horsemen under the same roof together for the first time ever. So like there was a lot of really really cool things, and I think that it was. Um, in a lot of ways, it was destiny for all of us to kind of be there at the same time. um, but as far as the actual venue is concerned, I was so underwhelmed, and I was actually really, really kind of I was kind of pissed about it. I was kind of pissed about the venue. Like I would much rather have taken that money that I spent on all of that and then all met at like a resort somewhere, and let's just do
Mm.
that instead, instead of the facade of this SDC. So I don't know. I'd like to. Um, I'm hoping for the best, but I can understand why a lot of vendors at the last minute just kind of bailed out on it. Yeah, it was a new venue. It was in a whole new city, and it was operated by a whole new crew of people that oversaw the event, because the guy that started it, I believe, he passed away. So what she have in her hands, is that a sub? Oh no, that's the shirt or something.
Right.
I guess he wants to know what's on your shirt.
A Ford Bronco.
Ford Bronco.
Right.
Yeah, Ryan. I don't get me wrong. Like I absolutely loved the interactions with the peeps. I 100% did. I think that anybody can attest that the Phoenix booth was easily the most attended booth in the entire venue. Um,
Right.
we were packed solid. And I know that the floor coordinator said that he was in a wheelchair. He said he tried to get over to the Phoenix booth 3 different times and he couldn't because of how many people were out front of the booth. Um, so again, I'm not disappointed with the interactions that we had with the customers and the fans. Um, I'm not. I thought that and and Fab is just a machine. Fab was out there and he was just grabbing people. Have you heard of Phoenix
Right.
COD? Oh, come over here and check it out. Have you heard of Phoenix COD? Come over here and check it out. I learned a lot on just being like that gregarious of a salesperson to just kind of grab. And I've already incorporated that into to my day to day. So like when I do these car shows, these local car shows, it's I use the exact same sales pitch because I mean it breaks the ice instantly and immediately. And like Ryan, I had a great time meeting everybody. I had a great time going out and drinking with everybody, wandering around. Apparently, Louisville can be very dangerous, but we had no problems and we just wandered and had a great time. And Fourth Street Live, that was a blast. Live music and just street performers and all kinds of stuff. It was like mini Vegas on Fourth Street. So um,
Right.
I
It was cool.
yeah, I totally I love that whole thing. It's just the actual. I think I think what Rich just said it. He never even heard of the SDC. Um, it was just really really poorly advertised. I know that they were doing an event before the company that oversaw the SDC was doing an event before the SDC, and so they were spending all their time and attention dealing with that. So they weren't advertising, they weren't putting anything out on social media. I really felt like it really felt sure. It fell short of where I wanted it to be as a vendor. Spending all that money to get everybody down there, I wanted and I expected a bigger turnout. That's all. Boop boop boop. But I'm glad you had a good time, and I certainly am. I love the fact that you were able to attend the ceramic installation seminar and the
Right.
education one. I really enjoyed that. That's the part of the job that I love the most is being able to interact with people, meet new people, and then build these relationships. And I guess that brings me to like one of my other points about you. You know, birds of a feather flock together, and I think that every time we do one of these curmudgeon corners, we're looking at the same people that share the same kind of human relationship, that quality of a person that is appreciative of the person beside them in the foxhole, um, and the willingness to share and educate, and just genuinely have a good time and appreciate each
Mhm.
other for being a human being. And I
Right.
and I love that about this group. And I think that you fit into that nice
Mhm.
from the conversations that you and I have had on IG. Um, like you're good people, and I love the fact
Right.
that you're part of this group now. Um, because I feel like you have that same mentality that most of us in this room share.
Right. We all like there's no reason that we all can't just get along and help each other out, and I don't try to keep any secrets from anyone. And I'm glad we all met down in Kentucky. That was a great time. Everyone was super nice and super informative and welcoming, and
Yeah, for sure, for real. Um, yeah, I feel like I did very little down at the show, and that the Four Horsemen just carried it. They were great. They were absolutely great. They're
yeah.
educationals. I've learned so much from sitting at Brian's feet and his willingness to help me. Every Friday for the last couple of weeks, I've been going up to his shop. In Warnersville, and we've been doing educational videos for because I'm trying to get educational videos of our products, not only just on the website but also on YouTube, so that people know how to use Hydra, and they know, how to use Apex soap. I get a lot of every time that we change the formula a little bit, which is, probably my biggest. I'm never satisfied, and I always think that we can do something better and we can do something bigger. And in doing so, we end up changing the formula. Um, and then you get these complaints where I guess the last one that really happened was, um, this woman was looking at one of Brian's videos, and it was an older video when we first launched the Apex soap, and so she was expecting it to be really thick and like molasses, which was what the first version was.
Oh,
And it's a good soap. It's just that we
right.
found that we could do it better by making it a lot thinner without adding. We don't add all the salt that we used to, and we don't add as much thickening agent to it that we used to.
Hmm.
It dilutes better in water, but everybody goes, oh, you've watered it down now. And I remember when the very first week that I changed the formula, there was a gentleman in Allentown that bought 4 gallons of it, and he had bought the old stuff, and when he got the new stuff, he freaked out on me. And I'm like, you live in Allentown, I will drive up to Allentown, I will give you your money back, I will swap it out, I'll take it off of your hands. I'm really sorry. I'm just asking you to just try it. Just try it, and you'll see it's not watered down. It's even more concentrated than it was before. It just dilutes better in water. So now when you use it in your foam or when you use it in your bucket, it's just easier to use. And when
Right.
he finally used it, he was just like, all right, I call off the dogs because he actually used it. But I don't have that ability to just beat that drum all the time. So what we decided to do is, all right, I'm going to make some educational and instructional videos, put them on the website, put them on my YouTube channel, and explain those kinds of things so that I don't have to constantly re-explain those kind of things or the confusion. And so Brian has graciously, at his shop on his time, he's helping me film these videos. And it's just that whole that mentality of we're in this together that truly makes this relationship um, such a joy to be with and around.
I agree. That's probably awesome that Brian's helping you.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's just I'm so blessed by his friendship. It's wild. It's wild. I told him, I said, I can talk in front of the camera. I can do it, but I need some cinematography. I need somebody who knows what they're doing behind the camera. And he does it so well, and he edits so flawlessly.
Hmm.
Like I've seen him do, a 1 hour video in less than 20 minutes sitting at his desk on his iPhone. Oh, just go to iMovies and do this and do that and drop out the video. And then, he gave me this little microphone to plug into my phone so that I can do voiceovers and stuff like. It's just
That's awesome.
constantly encouraging me to be better, constantly encouraging me to evolve. And I was just talking to a friend of mine today. I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I would have had the courage to launch Phoenix E.O.D without him. Being my
Mhm.
mentor. Being my mentor.
Right. That's wonderful
Yeah.
that he helped you then.
I asked. I said, why would you do that? Why would you sell my product on your website? And eh, you're my friend, and there's plenty to go around, man. I was like,
Right.
wow,
He's not wrong.
wow.
That's a very nice thing to do. I mean, that's what friends are for. They're supposed to know their friends' worth, support their friends.
Yeah, 100%. I just didn't think that I was that good of a friend.
Oh.
Like I don't deserve the level of friendship that you're giving me.
Huh.
Um, but he's a good man, a beautiful friend, and all these guys and gals in this room. Andrew Simperi out of Australia giving us a nice big shout out. So
Hmm.
I appreciate him. He was one of the first guys outside of like the immediate circle. He was one of the first guys to really support me, and was just like, "Hey, I want to bring your stuff to Australia." He might have been my first distributor, and it was in Australia.
Hmm,
Just
that's
absolutely,
awesome.
yeah, he's great. He supports me. He supports Phoenix on his social medias. Even his son sports a Phoenix T-shirt. So yeah, he's an
I
all
mean, I
around
love
good
the
dude.
Phoenix products, by the way. I just haven't used them enough to say that that it would be my go-to, I guess, you know. I have
Yeah.
got to use the compound, the polish, the wax, the cleaner, you know, Kraken and Furies, and I think the only thing I got that I haven't used yet is the rinseless wash.
You know that's interesting that you bring up the rinseless wash, and it doesn't have to, because I know that you probably don't have a need for a rinseless wash because you have a shop that you work out of.
Yeah.
But we've learned n- not too recently, but learned recently, and Papa Smurf will second this. Um, Hydra apparently is an insane glass cleaner. Um,
I saw somebody just mention that.
yeah, just a little smidge of Hydra and the rest with water, and he says it doesn't streak.
Hmm,
It is just the cleaning power, and without the streakiness is just incredible. And
I'm gonna have to try that.
yeah, I was like and that was the last video that the last video that Brian and I shot was on the Hydra, and it showed the capabilities of using it as a clay lube, using it as a glass cleaner. Um,
Hmm,
it's really really wild. So you don't have to use it as a rinseless wash. I would encourage you, the next chance you get, to try it as a glass cleaner.
right.
I just brought in all these raw materials to make a glass cleaner, and everybody is now like, don't do it because Hydra is
Huh,
the perfect glass cleaner. Now I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with 2 drums worth of raw materials? You know what I mean? So I got
right,
to figure
right,
something else out to do with it. But um, uh, every day I'm surprised and I'm impressed by, you know, our customers, our friends that keep finding new ways to make some really really cool things out of existing products. Um,
right.
I just got this in this week. We're working on. Um, I'm basically jumping off of Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing. He created this wheel and plastic and rim cleaner cocktail, and that stuff right there is going to make it a little bit thicker, so it'll actually cling to where you want it to, you know, like on the tires and on the rims and stuff like that, so it just doesn't run down all over everywhere.
Huh,
Um,
like a gel.
yeah, like a gel, but a sprayable gel.
Hmm,
Um,
yeah,
so that's what we're going to do, and I think that's probably going to be the next thing that comes out.
hmm,
1 ounce of
interesting.
Hydra in a gallon of water is a killer glass cleaner.
Hmm.
So what else you got there, Steph?
I don't know.
So I mean, besides the F-350, what's next? Finally, Tim, I've just been dragging this on till you get here. You said you were going to be an hour late. You not lying, an hour and 3 minutes. Um, I suppose we should probably do a giveaway. So everybody that's been hanging out with us from the very beginning, um, the question is, the first person that can tell me how Stephanie Devine got her handle will win a bottle of Hydra. Who can tell me how Mad Babe 324 got her Instagram handle? Ryan Mulhern, you win everything. Well, you and Keith,
We need like Jeopardy music, like do
right?
do do do.
So here's a question, Ryan. Like, do you remember
He's right.
why? he gave her that that nickname. Nope. Anything? It was hacked. Close, yeah. Her original handle was hacked. That's correct. But she got the actual Mad Babe from her boyfriend because she's always mad. There you go. Good job. All right,
Yeah.
Brian. I do believe I have your address because she's crazy and mad at the same time. Yes, that's right. There you go. All right, so Ryan, on Monday, if I remember, and I haven't had too much apple juice, I will send you out a bottle of Hydra. Good job. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So I pretty much have covered everything on my list of things that I wanted to talk about. Um, and I get if there's, like, other than the Ford F-350, what else you got going on?
I mean, not a lot this week. I recently, I don't know, like started helping at a local body shop, maybe here and there. So if they can, kind of like if they can use me and I'm available, I'll go thing. You know what I mean? So maybe I'll be there this week a little bit. We'll see.
Did we discuss that earlier? You moonlight at a body shop?
No,
All right.
we did
So
not. I don't think.
you moonlight at a body shop.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, as of just recently, yeah, a little bit, yeah. I kind of, like missed it. So I was like, kind of approached them and was like, hey, I'm kind of slowish here and there. So maybe if you think you can use me, and I'm available type of thing. So
Okay. When she was in
there's something.
Kentucky, I saw her doing the hood, and her concentration was sharp. 100%. 100%. Um, yeah, I think that we were all impressed with what you brought to the table at the SDC. I know that we had talked about it before. When Brian Apex was asking me who was on the show this week, um, and I told him, he was like, "Oh yeah, like awesome, awesome, yeah." And I told her that I said that we ceramic, she got certified under your tutelage, and he was like, without a doubt, I have absolutely no hesitation in her skills. And I was like, all right, well, there you go.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos like I probably should. I even if I'm struggling or something, I tend to kind of suffer through it until I figure it out.
Sure.
Occasionally I'll Google something for help, but when I was in Kentucky, I'm not 100% sure I understood the weight of the presence I was in, with you guys, with Brian and, maybe like Apex and that, or, and Fab. And
Yeah. Well,
it
I'm
wasn't kind of
definitely
till afterwards that I maybe did a little more digging and saw some more stuff and was like, oh shit, yeah.
yeah. I definitely am a bug amongst giants for sure. When like that was pretty neat. And I guess for me, I have the luxury of kind of losing a little bit of that celebrity shock, because I get to talk to these guys all the time.
Right.
Papa Smurf calls me pretty much every day on his drive into work, because we kill time together, laughing and making fun of each other and telling mom jokes and whatever.
Huh.
And then I work with Fab on a couple of different projects, and that's been a lot of fun. And just being able to, whenever I have a detailing question, I'll call them. Yeah, Puerto Rico. First from Puerto Rico. I didn't forget, buddy. It's right there.
I'm not in the Columbus, Ohio area, just I'm quite a few hours from Columbus still.
Yeah, you're more of the Columbia, not Columbus. I mean, Columbus is the capital, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm if anything north, so yeah, quite a few hours, 2.5, 3 hours, four
Yeah,
hours, something like that.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
that close.
I know where you are because, like I told you, I used to go stomping around in Boardman,
Right. That's crazy.
driving the drag. Oh my gosh, hanging out at the Boardman Mall and driving the drag. Oh
That's
gosh,
funny.
and
Small world.
Poland is
That's
ginormous.
not far from me. That's only like 25 minutes, you know.
Yeah, it was like 25 minutes from our house, but we would go over the state border and then sneak through Poland because Poland is like a ginormous speed trap for
Right.
especially out of state plates. You're getting pulled over no matter what.
Haha.
And then once we get into the the hub of Boardman, driving up and down the drag, and then going to the Boardman Mall and hanging out and trying to
Right.
talk to girls and stuff. So much fun.
The good
Um,
old days.
to the good old days. Speaking of which, I probably should eat a little bit more apple juice. Um, well, Rick, I do appreciate it, but when it comes to just the level of it's hard to translate, it's hard to explain, Rick, exactly what I mean by all of that stuff, and I do appreciate your kindness, but um phoenix Phoenix would not exist without everybody that's involved in Phoenix, not just the customers, because that's what we say first and foremost. That is our motto around here. Without customers, Phoenix doesn't exist. But at the same time, um, uh, Rick, at the same time, if it wasn't for the encouragement of and that's why I hold the horsemen in such high regard. Before we even started Phoenix, um, and the idea was still in its infancy. The idea was still in its infancy. Their encouragement, their out and out support, was overwhelming, and to the point where the guy that I was hanging out with today, I knew him from the old world, and he was looking at the products on my wall and stuff like that, and he said, um, do you pay them any kind of, do you pay them for having, their logos on your bottles, their names associated with your bottles and things of that nature? And I don't, and I never have. And you know the idea of putting their names and their logos on the bottle was my way of showing homage to them, in a fact that hopefully someday when we become, um, a household name, um, it will translate into people finding out more about them. At some point, we hope that Phoenix gets to be as big as those influencers, if not bigger. And if we become bigger, then hopefully it'll translate in those new customers becoming fans of the Four Horsemen as well. So, like, they're helping me get off the ground now, and then the hope is exactly, Mark, the Phoenix E.O.D empire. As the empire grows, the awareness for all of them grows, um, and I have the ability of paying it back of just their absolute kindness, that they showed me just to get off the ground. So, that's why I say what I say about being a bug in the presence of giants, because these guys, um, their generosity is so huge. Um, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done without it. So there it is. Hey, Big Red's in the house. Boop, boop, boop. Good to see Big Red. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Uh, well, what else you got? Anything?
Mm,
Anything you want to cover?
I don't
Anything
know.
you want to touch on? What's your favorite food besides mac and cheese? That doesn't count. Mac and cheese and chicken tenders don't count.
Right.
I will say
I don't
this.
know. I mean,
I think I like frozen pizza over some fresh pizzas. I'll be honest. I do. I do like a frozen pizza. I do.
right, there's nothing wrong with a decent frozen pizza every now and then, but I guess if I had to choose something, I'd want my mom to cook me a dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe like some roast and mashed potatoes or some lasagna or something maybe.
100%. I love when I get to go home and my mom cooks. My dad always gives me a hard time. He's like, I wish that you would come home more often because your mom doesn't cook like this when you're not here.
Ah, that's a nice compliment, though.
Yeah, right? That I have the Super Auto, the bird dog. They make I believe it's a praline pecan whiskey that is
Hmm.
that it's deadly. It is so delicious. Keith Firebird, exactly. Thank you very much. And they used to make it. They used to make a dual meat, which was pepperoni and sausage. Now they got like a meat trio or four meat or a million meat, or
Right.
whatever. But it was just a two meat. It was just sausage and pepperoni, and it was so stinking good. And then they just stopped. Like one year, they just stopped making it, and I can't find it anywhere. Um, but yeah, Keith, you're spot on. Anyway, I am very easily distracted for sure.
Huh.
Um, Ryan Mulhern, what is on horizon for Phoenix? So right now, I've been really dedicating most of my time in trying to do this, the video editing. Um, Keith, I've looked, dude. All the WalMarts in the tri-state area, I have sacked, and I can't find it anywhere. So maybe it's back home. I don't know. But anyway, I've been focusing all of my efforts on getting these videos done. Editing for me is a real challenge because I just haven't done it enough. Um, we had a couple of really big things happening this week as far as Amazon is concerned. We had a big breakthrough where Immortal and Chronos have now been allowed to be fulfilled by Amazon. So they are now going to be eligible for Amazon Prime, as well as Apex Auto Wash gallons are now eligible for um, Amazon Prime. And so this week we went into massive production, and I made and we normally we do like these basically these mini batches. I make about 55 gallons of something at a time. But because of the ramping up on Amazon, every time one of our products gets um, um, every time one of our products gets made on Prime, we try to ramp it up huge. So I ended up making a tote of soap and breaking all of that down, and then we launched 96 gallons of soap to Amazon yesterday. So that's what's next on the horizon for Phoenix. We're just constantly trying to gear up for Amazon Prime and make these educational videos so that we can start to explain exactly who we are, what we are, and how to use the products, and try to basically alleviate any of these questions about this soap sucks because it's watered down, or how many ounces do you really need to make a Hydra solution? Because I know the packaging says 1 ounce to 1 gallon. That's inaccurate, and we have it corrected on the website. But because we have 10,000 labels already made of the Hydra, we have to educate people as much as possible, and it's 1 ounce to 3 gallons. So it goes a very, very long way, and I have it on film, and I have it proven by Brian from Apex himself. It is 1 ounce to 3 gallons for the Hydra, and I just think we need to do a better job of educating our customers. So that's what's on the horizon for Phoenix. I hope that answers your question. Um,
I mean, I know I messaged you when I first got the stuff and kind of gave you my opinion, but I mean, the compound virtually dustless. Like I didn't see a speck of dust come off of my pad with that thing. It smells good. I with what I can smell of it after I had coronavirus. I had to maybe ask you what scent it was, but it smells good. It works
yeah,
good. I didn't need a lot of it. Um the polish, same thing. Smells good. Works good. I mean, the price. I mean, it's very cost effective. I don't think I've bought another compounder polish that was similar in price that works even close to as good as that. So
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we worked really, really hard on those. The Horsemen were definitely, again, as far as the acknowledgement of what they've done for Phoenix. Um, they all got test samples. We started with a base formula, and then those guys get it. They can play with it. They use it. They tell me what they like. They tell me what they don't like, and then we make the changes. We send them out. I think we went through 5 different versions of Papa Cut before it was unanimous that everybody had liked what it needed. More cycle time. Finish down finer. All of those
right.
things. Uh, well, he would like to see Stephanie and Titan Tim work in a car together. Titan Tim is in South Carolina, and you are in Ohio, and it looks like you have at least 3 states separating you. So I don't know how doable that is, but I do know that they both attended the SDC this past year, and we had a test
True.
hood. So maybe we can get a team up in that regard. Maybe,
That
maybe.
that it'd be on like Donkey Kong. We would
Yeah,
slay
for
it.
sure. For sure.
Right. I used Kraken the other day for the first time. I mean, I'm not for the first time, but I had a headliner come in that was pretty well thrashed. It looked like maybe like a 12 pack of soda exploded in the truck
Hmm.
and dark pop everywhere. And I sprayed a little Kraken on there, let it sit for a few, maybe minutes or so, and then steamed it a little bit of drill brush action. Stuff came right off. Took a
Awesome.
took a
Yeah.
hot rag with my steamer and like kind of just hand scrubbed it. Couldn't even tell it was there anymore. So
Yeah, I love the Kraken. The Kraken is no joke, and again, like what we try to do with all of our product line is make them as versatile as possible. And in order to do so, you have to like do these super concentrates. The Apex Auto Wash is a 600 to 1. I After this week, I hate Apex Auto Wash. I'll just be honest with you. I hate it. It is so hard to clean. If you spill some on the floor, It, all of the machinery has to get cleaned out and scrubbed out, and it's just bubbles and bubbles and bubbles and bubbles and bubbles, and it's just this white snake going down the back hill on the asphalt of just foam because it's so hyper concentrated that it takes forever to clean up. I usually end up using an alcohol solution to just kind of cut through most of it. But like with the Kraken again, it's a super concentrate. We actually had to upgrade the bottles because they were too powerful for the existing plastic bottles that we had as far as pints. People were calling in and saying they were spontaneously cracking and blowing up on their shelves, just kind of splitting down the plastic seams where the bottles were being made. So we had to
that's
do,
nuts.
yeah, we had to go out and research stronger, chemically resistant bottles just for the Kraken. A tremendous product. At 10 to 1, it conquers most jobs. I have a solution that I soak all of my equipment in. When I'm done using it, I just throw it right in one of my Phoenix buckets and let it soak for a day or two. I soak my pads in it after I'm done cleaning with them. Um, at 20 to 1, you're doing interiors and headliners and things of that nature. So I really love the versatility of it and how well it how well it goes after those stains and that dirt and the grime. It's pretty neat. So I thank you for saying that. I do appreciate it. We worked really, really. Yes, Kraken makes a great spice. So Super Auto, I call it Steph, I don't know. Have you ever had the Kraken spiced rum? Oh,
No.
it's awesome, and it comes in this really cool old time, like you would imagine Jack Sparrow drinking from this bottle of rum. Um, it's got the little hoop for the handle at the top of the jug and things of that nature, and
Right.
I call it time travel, 100%. I will have the Kraken, and I'll wake up 2 days later and I will have zero recollection. I mean, like it's past blackout. I have no idea. And it doesn't take much. It's just I'm awake and talking, and then the next thing it's Tuesday and I have no idea where I am or where my pants are. So yeah, I
That's
call it time
hilarious.
travel because I haven't figured
Right.
out how to go back in time, but I can definitely go forward in time on the Kraken. It's out of control.
Right.
Um, Good stuff. So I highly recommend it. Oh, and if you mix it with a little A&W root beer, it's like a root beer float, and it
Ooh.
is just intoxicating, literally intoxicating. But yeah, it is. It's crazy good. I got a root beer float, Kraken, and A&W root beer, and I am gone. Anyway, so we've been going about an hour and a half. I do appreciate everybody coming out. If you have any last minute questions for Steph or Phoenix, now's the time. Definitely follow up with where is it? Is it a banner? Yeah. Make sure you follow Stephanie on her IG and Facebook. If you have any last minute questions, now's the time to shoot them at. Other than that, we're going to probably wrap it up for a Saturday night.
Right.
It's been a very, very long day for Phoenix for sure. We've been filming since about 8 a.m. this morning. No YouTube, Stephanie.
Not really. I mean, I don't really like to talk on camera, or I would probably make YouTube videos, but
Right.
this wasn't so bad though.
Oh, I appreciate it. I try to do my homework and have a few questions, ready to fire at you. I will say that doing the videos in front of Brian and in front of my friend Steve today, being in front of the camera is definitely, you wouldn't think that it was intimidating. Like this, I have no problem. I can talk to like one on one. I can do this all day.
Right.
And I know it's not just one on one because we have all these, people in the chat room. Um, but as soon as that camera starts rolling, and it's just like, hi, I'm Aaron from Phoenix. It was definitely difficult to do. I don't know how you guys do it.
We need the blooper reel. Where's
Yeah, well,
that?
that's what I told. I said we need to have the B reel. Definitely. I don't. We did a video. Like I said, Carazino does all the social media stuff from the old company, and we did a video where we went up to Apex Auto, and basically what we wanted to do was a start to finish detail, like the process. How do you walk us through the process of detailing this car? If I'm a customer driving up to your shop, how do you assess what needs to be done? How do you assess the pricing? How do and then once you get through all of that with the customer, when you start to do the detail, why do you reach for what you're reaching for? Why do you use the tools that you use? The tools with pads? How do you choose which pads? Like we really wanted to really kind of get into the weeds of a real detail. And
Right.
Brian, you know how Brian he's a professional, and I'd like to say he's a perfectionist. Um, uh, his stuff was edited and it was beautiful and it was seamless and it was perfect. And then we did a blooper reel of the exact same thing where we included all of the screw ups and me goofing off and Steve goofing off and all the jokes that were going on behind the scenes, and it was so much fun. And I told both of them, I said, you need to keep that so that maybe a little bit
Oh,
down
for
the line
sure.
when we have established ourselves as a legitimate company a little bit more, we can release those and we wouldn't look so campy and
Right.
dumb. So, um, hey Tim, I'd love to see it. So let us know. Let us know. XYZ again, our new distributor out there in California, covering the West Coast. And I think after I end the broadcast, you and I can just hang on real quick and we'll talk real fast. But other than that, it looks like we're coming down to an end. I really appreciate Stephanie from Devine Detailing being on our show tonight. I appreciate you fielding the questions that you did. And it's been a real pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. So
Right.
all
Thank
of
you
us,
for having me.
Absolutely. So everybody here from Phoenix, we appreciate you guys coming out. Remember to like that button, and hopefully someday I'll have as many subscribers as Stephanie does on her channel.
Well
Until then,
beyond that, I'm sure.
what's that?
You'll have well beyond that, I'm
Oh, come
sure.
on now. I think, like I said, I think I have 7. I think I'm up to. I think I'm after tonight's broadcast. I think I'm up to 8. So, all right, everybody, have a good night. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next Curmudgeon's